Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to Not Defining. It is Mark here, and today we are going to do a bisexual book recommendation. There are so many wonderful bisexual books out there, and I'm going to give you just a flavor of some of my favorites so that you can go and enjoy them yourself, if that is what you would like to do. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with my first and favorite book. Sexual Fluidity by Dr. Lisa M. Diamond. This book, let me tell you, is a revelation. I would recommend the work of Dr. Lisa M. Diamond to anybody who is bisexual or anyone who wants to understand the concept of sexuality in greater detail. Dr. Diamond, kind of a hero of mine. I'm kind of fangirling. Dr. Diamond, if you're watching this, love you. She basically is a master of the academic study of sexuality. And what's great about her work is that she has spent years and years and years doing research. Some of the research has been done over the course of about 10 years, tracking the differences and the experiences of bisexual people. She does a lot of work with women in particular. And this book sets out her findings, and it is fascinating. There is so much in there that will blow your mind. There is so much in there that will challenge what society tells you about bisexuality and about sexuality in general. So I would really, really recommend this, especially to any women or female identifying people out there. It is just amazing. Okay, so that's number one. The next one, I'm going to pick it off my shelf, is this one. It's called Bi, The Hidden Culture, History and Science of Bisexuality. It's relatively recent, by another doctor, Dr. Julia Shaw. And this is really a great book if you just want to know, like, the fundamentals of bisexuality. So it goes into like the science, like the history of like where the term started to be used. Just so much goodness. It's like a foundation, okay? And you can see how geeky I am. When I was reading it, I actually tagged it because there were so many facts that I got from this. So if you really just want a very accessible grounding in bisexuality that's really, really well researched and kind of fun to read, then check out Dr. Julia Shaw. Moving on. So the next one that I want to show you is this one. So this is Bisexual Men Exist, and this, again, was quite recent. A lot of these books are quite recent because, you know, we haven't had that much representation in literature up until this point. So it's great to see so many coming out. And we've spoken a bit about the women, and this is for the men, or the people who identify on that side of the spectrum. Vaneet is just an absolute font of all knowledge on bisexuality. Really inspiring person, has been an activist for so long, and just has a great way of describing the bisexual experience, and especially the issues that affect bisexual men. So if you are a bisexual man, or you want to understand what it is really like to be a bisexual man or a bisexual person, I would really recommend this book. It's very, very nicely written. It's very accessible. You can read it quite quickly, and it's not too kind of dense or academic. So a lovely, lovely read from Vaneet. Vaneet, again, if you're listening, fabulous work. Thank you for being a real role model in our community. Now, moving on, speaking of role models, this is a kind of group of books, and they are written by the fabulous Ross Victory. Okay, Ross Victory is a writer. He's also a musician. He is an amazing bisexual role model. That's all I can say. And he's written these books. Now, they are fiction, okay? So they are storybooks, but he's done them in such a wonderful way. They have a kind of real element to them. So a lot of them are based around experiences from his own life. And they have just these beautiful kind of storylines. And the nice thing about it is that that's not the main thing about the book. They're just great stories. But you really feel, and I'd never felt this before reading these, you just feel like you're reading a book by a bisexual author that contains bisexual stories and themes, but it's just a great storybook. And the feeling that gave me when I read it was so powerful. Because that's something that we don't have so much of the time. We don't just have good stories, that connect with us as bi people, And so these are really, really special. Ross has other books out. These are just a selection, but you can check out Ross Victory. If you look up his name, you can find them. I would so recommend these. They're so good. I devoured these. And I don't normally devour books. I'm quite a slow reader, but these, yes, I love them. Right, next one. Okay, this one, it is about non-binary sexuality, gender, and just general things. So it's by Alex Iantaffi. I feel like I'm mispronouncing the name, and if I am, Alex, I'm sorry. And Meg-John. I'd say it's probably the book that inspires me most in terms of what I'm trying to do with Not Defining. It's really about just breaking open those boundaries, delving deep, as I like to do on this channel, into sex, sexuality, gender, expression, like all of those different things, and just opening it all up. So if you want something that really does that in a beautiful way, then check out Life Isn't Binary. Now, the next one is this little one here. Oh my gosh, okay. This is now falling apart. Okay, this is falling apart. It's fine. We're doing a book review. 2 books here, Bi and Prejudice. This is a gorgeous little book that Anna published a couple of years ago. And as you can see, it's very small and it's just so beautiful. It just records experiences as a bisexual woman. If you want to check out Anna online, she actually has a social media platform, Bi and Prejudice. And this is just a beautiful little love letter, I think, to some of her memories, some of her experiences, her thoughts, and it's just beautiful. It's just so uplifting and lovely to read. It's so almost like poetically written. So if you want just a little like uplifting treat, check out Bi and Prejudice. And then this one, Mostly Straight, by Dr. Ritch Savin Williams. This is, again, about sexual fluidity. So it's similar to Dr. Diamond. This was a study done on men it was done on kind of university college men, and Dr. Savin Williams followed a group of men and kind of accounted their different experiences. And it was men who identified as straight, but who had actually same gender experiences in different ways, and kind of how they talked about that, how they experienced that, and how they maintained their kind of straight identity whilst also having this diverse range of experiences. Anyway, so that's Mostly Straight by Dr. Ritch Savin Williams. And then finally, I think that's the last one. Yeah, that's the last one. We'll do another one. There's too many. Finally, so this is another one of my geeky ones. The Psychology of Human Sexuality. It is a textbook, okay, but I wanted to give you a range of different options. This, let me tell you, this textbook is amazing. I think in society, we talk about sexuality and we say all these things, but actually, do we understand the science of it? Do we actually understand the reality of it? If you are someone who wants to actually understand how human sexuality works on a psychological level, on a biological level, on a scientific level, I would really, really recommend. The author is Justin J. What is wrong with me? Justin J. Lehmiller, okay? And actually, Justin has a podcast. Justin is a fellow, at the Kinsey Institute of Sexuality. And he has a podcast called the Sex and Psychology Podcast as well. And that is an absolute mine of information. Really interesting stuff, from kink to sexual trauma to polyamory to bisexuality, asexuality, all kinds of stuff about sex and psychology. So if you like podcasts, go check it out. So that's Justin J. Lehmiller, The Psychology of Human Sexuality. So those are a few books to be getting on with. If I would like to say a huge thank you to all of the authors, all of whom are fabulous, and all of whom have really just provided us with so much wonderful information. You've all inspired the work that I do, and long may it continue. So thank you all for listening, and I wish you happy reading. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.